In the year of our Lord 2001, Colt Cabana was a part of Wrestling Society X, the short-lived wrestling promotion on MTV. In doing so, there was a vignette for a character called Matt Classic, which of course was Colt Cabana in a mask. This character was basically a parody of old school wrestlers like the Destroyer Dick Beyer or Bill Eadie, the Masked Superstar, Mr. Wrestling 2, etc. And I thought it was funny, personally. Now, I know he did stuff with the character over the next couple of years, but that's primarily what I know the character from. I have said before that El Grande Americano is basically the same or similar gimmick to what was going on in Mid-South when you had Stagger Lee. For another run through the character is Stagger Lee was the alter ego of the Junkyard Dog, so if he would lose a loser leaves town match, he would then just go put on a mask and come back as Stagger Lee, and then the heels would be like, "That's Junkyard Dog," and he'd be like, "No, it's not," and the crowd would get over on that. So what Chad Gable is doing with El Grande Americano is not out of the ordinary when it comes to pro wrestling. It is absolutely normal for a wrestler to put on a mask and pretend to be a parody of masked wrestlers in the past. But these people on the internet are super offended by El Grande Americano. And so they want you to know that they're upset. They want you to know that they're mad. And so they cry. They weep. And we shall be here to pay very close attention to it. Let's get right into it. If El Grande Americano is supposed to be making fun of MAGA and ridiculing them, they should make that more obvious, because right now it's just tone deaf and feels more like actual support of bigotry. What are you talking about? It's Chad Gable in a mask. That's all it is. It's Chad Gable in a mask. I know he's wrestling Lucha Libre, which is not really a style. Lucha Libre just means free fighting. And, for the record, Mexicans did not create wrestling in masks. Alright? There were wrestlers that were masked in Europe in the early 1900s, really early 1900s, before there was even a Mexican Lucha Libre performer. Okay? There were really old masked wrestlers. A couple of years ago, Last Word on Sports, they actually was able to trace back masked wrestling to 1848 in France. There was a wrestler by the name of the Masque, or the Masked Man. And there were other masked wrestlers, the Masked Marvel, Mr. X, a bunch of stuff back in the 1800s and the 1915. There was the Masked Marvel. I believe it was in, what was that? The Northeast Territory, I believe. I'm looking at something right now. Yeah, it was in the New York tournament. So, they didn't create this, okay? It's just one of the things that they became extremely famous for, because they literally built their entire industry around masked wrestling. But they don't own the copyright on wearing masks. All right, let's get that out of the way. Let's get to this though. WWE is on a generational run of racism and co-signing racists. Tony Hinchcliffe, Andrew Schultz, now this AI slop El Grande Americano / Gulf of America bullshit. You might as well bring in Tessa Blanchard at this point, because this shit is almost as racist as DX doing blackface. The Gulf of America somehow is racist. I don't get it. It's a Trump joke. That's what it is. Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Pretty much nobody calls it that except him. It's like when George Bush changed French fries to freedom fries. It didn't stick. Nobody cares. It's a posturing, symbolism kind of thing. It doesn't matter. But the whole point is, it's a fictional character from a fictional place that's supposed to be old. I mean, talking back with the grainy footage. It was amazing. It was fantastic. I thought it was hilarious. Here it is. Here's another one. Was one of the best things about WWE TV during this time, and now they got him doing some El Grande Americano bullshit. He deserves so much better, man. I get it. I wanted Chad Gable to be the Intercontinental Champion by now, but this is what we got. And you know what? This is the kind of cartoony pro wrestling that works. This works. People are going to be offended by it, which is the point. You're supposed to feel insulted. You're supposed to be mad. Those of us who are laughing are the people who get it. We understand. Those of you who are emotional you need to detach a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. Here's another one that's actually in Spanish. Podré ser muy fan del WWE, pero el que hayan llamado el Golfo de México, el Golfo de México, durante la promo del Grande Americano es un insulto total e usa fantástica en Mexico. Mexico, I'm sorry. He put the little thing on the E, so it's Mexico. This means I may be a big WWE fan, but the fact they called the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America during the American Greats promo is a total insult to his fans in Mexico. Oh my good God, have mercy. Good God, have mercy. This Gulf of America thing got them so worked up. Ooh, they churned up. Here's another. Watching El Grande Americano feels like I'm watching regretful WWE writing in real time. You know when you cringe at some of WWE's worst writing moments? This is one of those. The AI, the Gulf of America, unmasking Dragon Lee. Ugh! He snatched his mask off, which they do to luchadors literally all the time. I mean, they do it literally all the time. They do it all the time in Mexico. They always snatching and tearing each other's masks off. It's part of the gimmick. They always do this. Always. It's not that big a deal. El Gran Americano. The gimmick is racist as hell, but uninspiring that WWE would do that. This is ridiculous. Now, somebody brought up Juan Cena, which I completely forgot about. Or the fact that Cody Rhodes was wrestling in AEW under a mask when he was pretending to be, what was that? His little buddy was a Fuego del Sol, I think it was. Like, he was like, these people, they work in masks sometimes. The mask gimmick is hilarious. It's not just that Hulk Hogan did it, you know, but there's an entire history of white guys wearing masks. You're not about to sit here and act like a white guy can't put on a mask. Stop it. Enough of that. We're not going to play that. Disrespecting a nation to play into mid-tier character makes sense to you? Disrespecting what nation is being disrespected here? Mexico? They got bigger problems than Chad Gable putting on tassels. I swear to God. Oh boy. Here's another one. Something about this El Grande Americano gimmick feels deeply wrong. Could it be the billing from Gulf of America? Or perhaps the choice of theme music? Or maybe the use of GAN? Why would you... What are you... I don't know what he's censoring here. What are we censoring? Why are we censoring things? AI slop for the vignette. The AI was funny. All right, the AI was funny. Because who the hell wants to put a lot of time into something that is a parody? Y'all got to get over this hatred of AI. You got to get over it. It's childish. It's pathetic. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? This cartoonish hatred that everybody has of AI. What do you mean you hate AI? You don't use the internet? You don't use Alexa in your house? I'm pretty sure your car has AI. There's AI literally in everything. They were just attacking Asuka a couple days ago because she was talking about how great AI is. And I basically just said, look, you look at somebody who's Japanese, right? They came up with movies like Appleseed and Ghost in the Shell. These are anime movies, by the way. But Appleseed and Ghost in the Shell. Americans came up with Terminator and The Matrix. We have different views of how people will use computers and AI and machines and all that kind of stuff. She looks at it like it's a helper. They're going to make AI robots and all this kind of stuff is going to clean your kitchen and wash your car and all that kind of stuff. Americans think they're going to have guns, travel through time, and murder you. This is psychotic. You got to stop being a Luddite. That means somebody who hates technology. But I went on a rant. My bad. This Chad Gable luchador gimmick is what happens when creative has nothing left for you. One step away from AEW dark matches and headlining high school gyms. Look, it's definitely one of those things that happens when you're in a corner. But they've done this, again, 1,000 times. Remember when Eddie used to run around, he used to call it El Gran Luchador, and it was Edge and Christian in masks, or I think it was another one, or it was the Conquistadors was Edge and Christian in masks, and El Gran Luchador, I think, was Kurt Angle in a mask. Like this stuff, it happened all throughout history, and now just today, it's racist. Today, it's racist. Get real, man. Oh, this one's funny. You might not think so, but I think so. Really upset my goat is being used for American propaganda, especially with what's going on in America right now. Who is cooking these ideas up? Good idea, but damn, read the room. My goat. Who is your goat? Not Chad Gable, hopefully. It says this is a good idea, but read the room. I mean, it's a good idea or not. Oh shit! He went to Mexico and bought a mask, so you goddamn, he better use it. Holy shit! Fuck off! They just had Dragon Lee get his mask taken off by this piece of shit gimmick of an American luchador that to me comes off as a racist. The fact that this is the only way we can get Gable versus Dragon Lee match tells me creative is going downhill and out of ideas. This is the second or third Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable match. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. This is not the first one. And then somebody called them too woke, which is a really good response to this. And he goes on another rant. Apparently caring for important issues being in wrestling and having awareness about it is woke. Never liked that word and never will. Because the people that are always saying it or bringing it up in a conversation are always the ones that let problems like racism slide too often. Oh my God. Relax, okay? Go take a pill. Get you a nice little pillow and go to sleep. This took place at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and people are still screaming about it at 10:30. I don't get it. Like, get over this, please. It's not that big a deal. I just thought about it. The theme song is a mariachi version. It's a mariachi song, for God's sake. Everything about that shit is classic. Woo, this one's gonna live in infamy. El Grande Americano is going to live in infamy. This one's good. This is a good one. The next. El Grande Americano could have been fun, but it turned into a macroaggression real fast. A macroaggression. Jesus Christ. What is... Microaggressions and macro... Look, macroaggression is when like somebody calls you a nigger in the Walmart or something like that, or spits on you for being black, or tries to lynch you. All this stuff about microaggressions is all for sensitive, emotional people. Stop allowing yourself to be manipulated. It's not good for you. It's not. I just saw somebody at Conan. Oh my god, I can't wait for that. I might actually do it. It all depends on how funny his reaction is going to be to this. But it's pretty entertaining, man. I'm entertained by this shit. Holy guacamole. This man is from the Gulf of America. Here's another one. WWE desperately need writers who are not ignorant, out of touch, old geezers who think of shit like El Grande Americano is ironically funny. We need new voices in professional wrestling. Legitimately, hire diverse voices. You know, I watched AAA. I haven't seen it, in quite a while, but how often do they have like regular white American guys come down there, wave the flag, and get spit on, and people throwing cups at them? You know, they've been doing that shit forever, and they'll never stop doing it. Hell, how long has Japan done that? Random Americans come over, do American things, and get booed for being American. Jesus, so what? Everybody does this stuff, and he's a heel, and he's American. He's not even pretending to be Mexican. Like, that's the funny thing. If he was pretending to be Mexican, well, maybe the gracias is a bit much, with the Spanish and everything. But I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide, man. They gave this guy a whole backstory. They ain't backing off of this one. They ain't taking their foot off the gas on this. They need to go more. Give it more. I want another vignette next week about why he got blackballed out of the industry. I wanted to say like he stole El Santo's wife or something. Give me something ridiculous. Something that can't possibly be real, Here's another one. Call me a spoil sport all you want, but this is pure MAGA politics displaying on WWE TV. This is beyond Triple H's booking, not absolving him. This is a cultural statement through Lucha Libre, and it stinks. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is a cultural statement. Yeah, it's a cultural statement that Chad Gable, who couldn't beat luchadors, decided to become a luchador so that he can beat luchadors. If you can't beat them, join them kind of gimmick, Or it's a mental game that he's playing on Ray and Dragon Lee and all these other guys. I mean, this is ridiculous. Oh boy. This is what you fucking WWE incels like. A company that takes the name of Lucha Libre and make that mean nothing, then plan it with this race gimmick shit. Why would WWE make a whole fake luchador in Chad Gable when they have real ones? This is a mockery of Lucha Libre. That is the point. That is the point. That's the point. That's the point. Now they're saying that this is... somebody says that this is WWE trying to copy Hologram. They're trying to copy Hologram, is it? Oh, can't wait till they find out about gravity. They're just trying to copy Hologram. You just want to be like Hologram. Woo. Oh my God. It really feels like some of the writers want to get over a couple jokes at the expense of Chad Gable's character, while simultaneously having a great luchador roster they aren't using. It's to pop themselves, unfortunately. What do you mean? Dragon Lee hasn't been on TV in weeks. And then he finally gets on TV is to wrestle this obviously fake luchador. An obviously fake luchador. And it's part of a storyline involving Rey Mysterio, for God's sake. Oh my God, somebody just compared it to the Mexicools. It is no way a comparison to the Mexicools. The Mexicools, while funny, was completely and utterly offensive. They were riding lawnmowers, and they were wearing jumpsuits. No. No. They had super crazy and psychosis in a jumpsuit. No, man. Nah, that was the worst. That was bad. El Gran Luchador is not even anywhere near it. Not even the same ballpark. Gracias! Oh shit. There's a lot of people who apparently think WWE is trying to do a new hologram. How about you say they it's trying to do like Suicide or Manic? You know, guy who's not Mexican in a mask. I mean, was Curryman offensive? You know, the guy who literally had like a bowl on his head, was that not offensive? I mean, I don't understand what's supposed to be offensive these days. If it's on the indies, nobody seems to care. If it's on Raw or something, then all of a sudden it's just real racism and MAGA shit. It's it's hilarious. It's just funny, man. Just relax. These people just can't. They can't have fun. They don't want to have fun. Let's see somebody else who's not having fun. To be the tweeter that's too woke, you already have a bunch of Latino talent that gets tossed wayside for no reason. Now you're parading this gimmick around? Poor taste. This has nothing to do with any of the Mexican guys. It has to do with the two Mexican guys he's feuding with. Penta was in the main event, wrestling for a title, on the same show that this supposedly racist gimmick debuted. And he was using Mil Mascaras moves, by the way. Don't think I didn't see that. He was using Mil Mascaras flying headbutt. I mean, everything about that shit was hilarious, bro. It could be a love letter if you want it to be. I mean, that's up to you. It's up to you to how you choose to take it. You know, but I noticed that he did, you know, some real luchador moves in there too. But it is what it is. Here is another one. Gulf America reference, but no Black History Month reference, mention, or anything. Great company, guys. And then the first response to this guy, classic. Why do you create your own unhappiness? And he didn't respond. Why do you create your own unhappiness? I'm not sure why I do it. I don't know why I do this to myself. There's a lot of people with Spanish replies, man. I'm not doing the Spanish thing. I can't do it. I can't read the shit. Okay. AI slop, Gulf of America. Literally fuck off if you still defend this company. No amount of nostalgia can cover this bullshit. These people need to get over it. The Gulf of America thing really got the asshole tingling. I mean, it's really bad. Oh boy. It's tearing them up. The whole thing is, they acting like this is supposed to be serious. The whole shit is funny. You got the guy in old grainy footage, like he's from the 1930s or something like that, with old like World War II footage and everything, and acting like the Gulf of America has always existed. Like, it's ridiculous. It's 100% fake horseshit. Who cares? Who cares? Here's another one. I can't believe they would post something like that with some of the luchadors they have, especially with their families having legitimate legacies. It's a work. It's a work. Who cares? It's a work. They compare them to Mil Mascaras and the Guerreros and Blue Demon. And you're like, that's offensive. You can't do that. He ain't real. He's not real. They created a whole fake backstory for this character. He ain't meant to be real. It ain't nowhere near real. It's part of the gimmick. This is stupid. This is real stupid. I can't believe these guys, man. Somebody says, I can understand if Gulf of America is meant to be poking fun and not a political statement. But maybe doing that the week after you announce a Tony Hinchcliffe stand-up show isn't a good idea. A guy who has a history of disrespecting Hispanic countries. Again, just awful optics. Puerto Rico is not technically it's a territory. I guess it's an independent territory, kinda. It's a gray area. But has nothing to do with Tony Hinchcliffe at all. Nothing. It has everything to do with Chad Gable was feuding with these Mexicans and went and bought this Mexican mask 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's got nothing to do with Tony Hinchcliffe. He was wearing this mask long before they did this angle here. Long before. Long before. Well, before it was announced anyway. I don't know when the deal was actually done. So there's that. These people are pretty ridiculous. Here's another one. All right, so this is beyond gross, not just for the use of AI when there are so many talented people out there, but most importantly, doing this for a non-lucha wrestler who they have plenty of then in the company that they could have been built up, tone deaf, and gross. They're not going to build up Andrade with a fake vignette. They've already done vignettes about him and his real family. Everybody knows who the fuck Rey Mysterio is, and Santos Escobar's gimmick is literally Legado del Fantasma. Literally the legend of the ghost, which is his family. We've done this already. Are you not following the product? Do you not pay attention? This is a fake luchador with a fake vignette from a fictional place. It doesn't exist. This is not real. And it's not meant to be real. These people are ridiculous. My God, they're going out sad. And the whole thing about AI is just ridiculous. If you want to be an artist, man, be an artist. I don't have to buy your art pieces. I mean, it is what it is. You know? People, AI generate everything from voices to art to all kinds of shit. It's not taking money out of your pocket. So why do you care? It wasn't like you were going to get the job. So who gives a fuck? It's a weird thing that people get upset about. Oh, I can't believe they're using AI. I wouldn't. Well, if it wasn't, it became pretty obvious it was AI early on, by the way. It's really bad. But that's part of the gimmick, too, is the fact that how fake it is. That's actually what makes it funnier in some way. The cartoonish proportions to his legs and shit. That actually helps with how ridiculous this whole thing is. Okay. Golfo de América. No, pero exagero. Hachero la conexión Trump de WWE. A la empresa no se está enfrentando una agenda política de naturaleza conservadora. No está como ustedes fueran muy mongólicos como para no darse cuenta de la propaganda de estos gringos de mierda. That's the worst Spanish of all time. It says, Gulf of America? No, but it's a stretch to make the Trump WWE connection. The company isn't leaking a conservative political agenda. It's not like you're so idiotic you couldn't see through the propaganda of these shitty Americans. I don't even know what that means, man. I don't care. WWE and their fans need to realize that it's possible to create a heel entirely in the world of wrestling. We don't need them to commit heinous crimes. We don't need them to be on the wrong side of a hot button social political issue. We don't need a MAGA luchador. You have a pro-American luchador and you're going to like it. Or you're going to fuck right on off. One or the other. I mean, it is what it is. No, you don't need those things. But it don't hurt either. It don't hurt. I mean, people don't seem to mind when, and then here's the thing. He's the heel in this, and the issue might be if he fuck around and ends up being a babyface. Then you might have a problem on your hands. But no, he's going to be a heel. And they're going to make sure he's going to stay a heel because nobody in their right mind refers to this thing as the Gulf of America. No, not even the hardest of the hardcore Trump supporters calls the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. It's just funny because it upsets so many people. That's the reason I like it. There's people out here trying to destroy really the only good thing that happened on this episode of Raw, man. This Raw, that was an episode of Raw that occurred where not much good happened, and El Grande Americano shows up, and everybody is talking about him. He's trending. It's a good thing. It's a great thing, man. But it's one of those things where if you're offended by everything, you're going to be offended by this. And if you're offended by nothing, this is not going to bother you. So it's going to be up to you. So far, they haven't done anything that's that I think is over the line. And but I was a big fan of JBL chasing Mexicans at the border. So that's my sense of humor. I like this kind of stuff. We was just on the internet the other day celebrating how funny Rush Hour was, you know? And Rush Hour was completely inappropriate. It was a hella inappropriate. It came out in 1998, you know, where people thought they were over this kind of petty. I mean, before everybody learned what a microaggression was, and you became offended by everything because it gives you power. You know, that's when, you know, DX did the blackface and everything. That was in 97, if I remember correctly. So you had like Rush Hour and DX and blackface and all this stuff was happening, and nobody cried and whined, and nobody complained, and nobody cared. And then out of nowhere, maybe about 2012, 2008, probably Obama, everything became offensive. You know, they started canceling books and altering James Bond stories and altering Tarzan and deleting movies because these things were offensive. Now everything's offensive. The fact that Chad Gable is a white guy in a mask, for starters, Mexico did not create that. You didn't create this. It's your culture, sure, but you didn't create it. You don't have a patent on it. There's been hundreds of guys who are doing what Chad Gable is doing. Who gives a shit? All right? Get over it. If you don't like it, I can't force you to like it. I don't want you to like it. But I want you to grow up and learn that not everybody's going to have the same sense of humor. There's people out there who's trying to get Speedy Gonzalez canceled. And then the Mexicans had to stand up and save him. But that didn't do him any good. Look, and I know a lot of it is the nigglets and the white liberals who are, you know, looking for reasons to hold the umbrella for the poor Hispanics. But if they really wanted to be offensive, they would have deported his ass.